It's Jess.
Hi, today I wanted to talk about what I see a lot around people my age, talking about what it is that they have goals for later in their life and what it is that they're envisioning. So I saw this post on social media and I wanted to share it with you guys, and this is kind of the mindset that I've been seeing a lot all around. So it says, I want to move to a small apartment by myself in a new city. So as a person who's moved to a small apartment by myself in a new city, I thought that you might want to know the pros and cons of what this idea that people have, that if they move to a new city far away, that none of their problems will follow them and they'll just be able to have this romantic idea of shopping in a small grocery store to find all the things that they want, and moving to a place where they don't speak the language because they think it's so interesting and exotic, and sitting by themselves in their own studio apartment, watching the rain trickle down from outside, and knowing that you know nobody in the city, but it's really cool and adventurous. And let me tell you right now, there's some cons to this side of the story that no one else seems to want to talk about. So I'm going to give you the pros, because there are some pros to this. Speaking from experience, I moved 3,000 miles away from everyone that I know and love to go live in a city where I don't speak the language. I don't understand the culture. These are some of the pros that I have found about moving to a place where you've never been before, where you don't really speak the main language, where everything's different and people behave differently and you don't know anybody there. So here are some of the pros. None of the people who may have possibly mistreated you in your hometown are going to be there. So you don't have to deal with bullies, you don't have to deal with knowing that you can't go to this specific coffee shop because this person works there and you don't want to see them again. You don't have to worry about that because nobody that you know is there. You get to wake up in a new place and you get to explore your neighborhood. You get to find out where the local coffee shop is and where it is that you need to do your grocery shopping, and where the new parks are, and where the new clothes shops are, and what the styles are. Those are all really interesting things to learn. It feels like a clean slate at first. It feels like you get to start over, like you get to decide who you want your friends to be instead of having them be friends of circumstance. You get to decide what you're going to do on Sunday mornings. You get to find a new job. You don't have to deal with the complexities of the people that you used to work with. There's new food that you get to try wherever it is that you've moved to. There's going to be new cuisine. There's going to be something that's really popular in that area that you get to try out. And maybe there's new good-looking people, if you're a single person in this area, that you get to meet. They speak a new language, they act in a different way. It's really cool to be able to meet these people. Maybe you make a connection, maybe it's a one-night stand, what have you. There's beautiful sights to see. There's always something interesting in that neighborhood or in that city that's like a tourist attraction that everyone wants to go and see, the cool place to hang out. So those are some of the pros that I've seen having moved to a new place. Now, here's my quite longer list of the cons, okay? Yeah, you move to a new place where you don't speak the language, and that's romantic and cool, but you don't speak the language. How are you going to ask where the bathroom is? How are you going to find out where the grocery store is? What if you get lost in a neighborhood where your phone dies and you don't have a GPS and you don't know how to ask for directions, and it looks like a sketchy neighborhood and you're not sure if you want to let anybody around you know that you don't know where you are and that you're all alone? Those good-looking people who speak an exotic language, yeah, you can't talk to them. They're not going to talk to you. You're not going to be able to communicate. You're going to sit there with a translator app and try to understand. And let me tell you right now, some slang does not translate. Some words in English that are normal words, for those of you who speak Spanish, English words that are fruit are not fruit slang in Spanish, if you catch my drift. So, and it's hard to communicate like that. That cuisine that you found that's really new and exotic and tastes different and everything, yeah, you're gonna get food poisoning real easy. My first year here, I had food poisoning 5 times. It was awful. When you go to a new restaurant, it's really difficult to order your food or to find food that you even like. Yeah, you get to experience new food and new cuisines and things like that, but after a while, like, you really just want what it is that you're used to eating at home, and it's really hard to find it It's really hard to find someone who's made it the way that you had it at home. It's really hard to dine with food intolerances or a specific food schedule or food diet that you're following. It's really hard to dine out with anybody. It's really hard to carry on a conversation in another language. I used to think that I could carry on a conversation in Spanish, but once it gets to a certain point in that conversation, I'm just like, and English, because I don't know what else to say, and I'm not going to sit there with my translator app on my phone and try to carry on a conversation. It's too much trouble. When you're in your new neighborhood and you're exploring what's around and finding your grocery shopping and finding where your local cafe is at, when you do find your grocery store, you're not going to find everything you need there. Where I used to live 3,000 miles away from here, I knew exactly which stores I needed to go to get my hair products, to get my beauty care products, to get the foods that I liked. I knew where the farmers markets were. I knew what times and dates they were. I knew where the parking was. And now it's like, I can't find anything. I can go to the local grocery store and maybe find 10 things that were on my grocery list, and I have to go to another grocery store. If I do my normal shopping routine, where I do one major shopping trip to get like all the paper products that I need for the month and like soaps and things like that, I have to do another shopping trip to find all of the foods that I'm gonna eat that week. I have to go to like 5 different stores to find the things that I need, because the things that I really like to have are not always going to be found at the same grocery stores. I have to go to different grocery stores, and sometimes I have to travel 40 minutes out of my way to find the things that I want to have. It's really hard to make new friends. Moving to a new place where I don't know anybody and I don't speak the language, it's hard to make a friendship. Yeah, I go to the same coffee shop every week and I see the same people, but I'm not going to be able to carry on conversation and find things in common if we don't speak the same language and we don't have the same culture. So things that those people might think that are fun for them are not fun for me. Where I come from 3,000 miles away, the bars and restaurants closed at 2. Where I am now, they don't close. So party means you're partying until like 8, 9, 10, 11 the next morning, out at clubs, bar hopping in between, going to house parties and stuff. By like 3:30 or 4, I am tapped, exhausted, and I've lived here for 2 years. I am still tired around that time, so I've got to go home, and all my friends are still out partying with each other, and I'm too tired. And even if I drink a Red Bull or I'm drinking coffee, I'm just a zombie at that point. You don't speak the same language. You don't have the same taste in music. So you go to a club and everyone's dancing the way that they're used to dancing in that area, and I don't know the songs and I don't know the music, and the music is in a different language, so everyone's singing along and enjoying it, and they've had this shared experience growing up with this music, and I don't have that experience. I don't know this music. I'm just there like, and I don't know how to do all these dance moves because I didn't grow up with this dance. So it's kind of isolating. And you feel really lonely because all of your friends and family who you actually love and care about are in your hometown or where you used to live, and you're here all alone. And having no family here, especially during holidays like Christmas and birthdays, I'm missing everything to be where I am right now. I consider myself a feminist and a person who believes in equality, and so to be in a place where there's people who are prejudiced against their neighbors, it's really hard for me not to say something. If I'm finally able to make friends with someone and I realize, shoot, they're really racist against this one type of person, or oh my God, they're really sexist, I can't not say something. And then I realize we're not friends, and it fizzles out. It's really difficult to pay your bills, to find out how the electrical company works there and if water's included in your bill payment or not. And when you move, you have to transfer everything over. You have to, even if you just paid for registration in your home state and you move to another state or another country, you have to repay for that registration. You have to get new license plates, you have to get new insurance, you have to get new health insurance, you have to get a new ID, you have to change everything over. You have to forward all your mail, you have to find out all the things that you're subscribed to and change the address on all of those things. It sucks. There's pros And there's cons to this romantic idea of moving to a place where you don't speak the language all by yourself. And I hope that you really think it through if that's something that you're considering. But that's just my point of view. I make new videos every Monday. Sometimes I talk about really personal stuff like I have this week. Sometimes I make funny videos. You can always go back down through the videos that I've made and see what I do. Make sure to give that like and subscribe button a 1-2 punch. And if you have any personal experiences regarding this type of conversation, go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. If you have any ideas for future videos, also leave those down in the comments below. And I'll be sure to comment back, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!